Hello, good evening to everyone. Welcome to Unacademy, which is the biggest online education platform for GATE, Computer Science and IT. And myself, Malesham Devasane, you can call me as Devas sir. Here I'm going to take the classes for C Programming, Theory of Computation and Compiler Design. Today we are going to start with arrays, the part 1. And we are going to run many sessions for arrays and pointers. Okay, please, if you're watching this video, first like the session guys, and also start commenting and also share with your friends if anybody wanted to join this session. Yeah. So let me introduce some important points. I have studied MTech from IIT Bombay guys. If you are attending the first time the session, I have secured all India rank 119 and 210 in my BTech with self-preparation. So far, I have around 12 years of teaching experience. Here, I'm going to take the classes for TOC, compiler, and programming. So this is my referral code. If you are joining on Unacademy, either plus or iconic subscription, you can use the code DEVALIVE. You know, from tomorrow, you will have the price hike. So if anybody is interested to take the subscription, this is the last day without hiking on price. So better to use DEVALIVE code to get the 10% discount before hiking the price. Fine. So you know that you are already attending these 3 classes. So I'm sorry for not continuing for many classes because of there are issues in Hyderabad because of flooded area. Was not having the power and other problems. That's okay. And you can attend my free classes, and there were so many classes, nearly 300 classes are there on many subjects, like including C, TOC, compiler and algorithms and other subjects too. And you can get practicing new questions there. Maybe you may not require to join any test series. Unacademy is providing a lot of questions for you that also includes MCQ, MSQ and NAT type. You can learn topic-wise concepts, a revision on each topic, practice previous year GATE questions. Yeah, and also practice all the subjects in one session. So that's so many facilities are there on free classes too. Yeah, that's okay. Ankit, good evening. Yeah, Vaibhav, good evening. Yeah, Vaibhav, I do. Yeah, good. All right. Continue all the classes, Vaibhav. Right. So this is my profile where you can access all my classes which are available on Unacademy, unacademy.com/CSE. So what are the benefits of Plus if you are not aware of this channel and Unacademy? So Unacademy has so many benefits guys. It's just like one-time entry. One entry, it's access to all resources. You can go to any live class from any educator, but that entry depends on, are you going for 1 year or 2 year subscription plan? That depends, right? So choose the plan properly, and once you join the Plus using DEVALIVE code, and not only my classes, every class which is there in Unacademy you can access either live or recorded. It is your choice. There is no limitation how many times you watch. If you look at other resources or online, they will have a limitation how many times you can watch. But on Unacademy, the unlimited access within that 1 year. It's just like Netflix, Amazon Prime. So there is no limitation on how many times you watch that video. Okay, and structured courses, all are structured, and multiple options. One subject you will have many educators. We are going to guide you to crack the GATE too, right? You'll have live lectures, live tests and crash courses, doubt solving courses too, and revision batches, rank improvement batches and practice questions, PYQs. Separate courses are available for. And if you look at, there are 2 kinds of subscriptions, iconic and plus. Plus all the benefits that I have discussed so far, and additionally iconic will have all the benefits of plus. Now you will have a guide or coach to monitor your performance and to rectify your mistakes, to correct them. You will have a plan to study, and you also have expert guidelines to follow. So we have two kinds of subscriptions here, and now we are talking about the plus subscription here. If you look at 1 year, till today 22,500, from tomorrow it will become 27,225. So it's increasing almost 5,000, margin is increasing here. And here 27,000 for 2 years, that was a price old one. From tomorrow it is almost more than 10,000, it's going to increase for 2 years. So if you are interested to take the plus subscription, this is the right time. It's the right time. Vaibhav, you can search, you can go to my profile, you can see the test series. You can enroll directly. Free test series is also there. Keshri, IRS to start in how IRS works, how could I explain, right? Just wait for a second. Very quick. IRS to start in आज to start होने वाला है. Guys, this is a plus subscription for 1 year. You have 22,500, right, till midnight, and from tomorrow it will also going to increase. So use DEVALIVE code to see the discount. That's the total after discount, only 22,500. And iconic subscription, you have 40,500. Apply DEVALIVE. Okay, you can choose credit or debit or net banking. Even you can do the part payment, but choose or read the PDF before choosing the part payments, and no cost EMI also available. So this is our Facebook group. Please join here to get updates from us. And we have Unacademy GATE CSE is the Telegram channel. Please subscribe here to get regular updates from us. Okay, these are our various free YouTube channels, guys. Various free YouTube channels. You can share with your friends if they are interested to prepare from us. And this is the time to begin our topic today. Please like this session. If you have not done, please do that. Please do that. I can see that more number of people are live than more number of likes. Please spend for us 1 or 2 seconds just to click on like button, and also subscribe if you have not done it, and please share. Okay, today topic is arrays. So आज शुरू करते guys. Thank you so much. So we are moving into the first topic, arrays. So let me explain what we have done in the previous sessions. Have you studied variables, simple variables like, int x, float y, char c. These are primitive data type variables like double. These are primitive. Primitive data, and you have the type 2. So these variables, x is going to hold the integer. So x is one block, a primitive block, where you will have, let's say, size either 2 or 4 bytes, depends on the system. And float, you will have 4 bytes. Like similarly, you will have character c, it's just 1 byte. And d, you will have like 8 bytes. Okay, so I'm going to talk about here only main int, float, char. I'm not using the double. So now how I'm going to compare, these are primitive, even including double. Now I'm going to use the derived ones. What is derived data here? Like we have many things. One is array and other is pointer. In future, we will also look at user defined data, that is structure and union. So I'm going to talk about first array now, then pointer. Once we complete, we will go to user defined data too. These are the secondary data. Exactly, secondary. Gate questions we solve only on Saturday, Sunday, right? I don't believe that if you, without knowing the concept, doesn't matter how many times you solve the gate questions. It's at the end, when you sit in the gate exam, it looks like you have done nothing. Please believe me that doesn't matter how many times you solve the gate questions without knowing the concepts. In my class, you will learn the concept so that when you look at the gate question, you should be in a position to answer yourself, whether answer it or not. So please learn how to prepare for GATE. Right, GATE solutions are already available. Right, if you are solving only GATE questions, we have the marathon sessions we do on Saturday, Sunday. You can attend them. Okay, so my classes are slightly different than others. I do GATE questions, but in separate sessions. Fine. Once in a while, I will also come up with the GATE questions too. Now, how this array is different from the primitive data? Now, you may have a question, sir, what is the array speciality? Guys, when you look at a normal primitive data, this is one data. This is a complete data element like integer. Let's say if I say int x is equal 10, the 10 is going to store in one basic block, one small block. But when it is array, it's just like a group of elements. But what is the speciality of the array here? You will have many elements stored using single name. You are going to use one name for all. Like if array is A, then A can be used to access every element within array A. So you will have a group of elements of same type, not different type, guys. Group of elements are stored consecutively and you will have a same type. Group of elements and all are same type. Look at the advantages of array. And what is the advantage also I am going to talk about. Let's look at array first. And how do they store? All elements are stored. All elements of array stored contiguously. It means one after other, one after other. So you can see that if the first element is 1000, the next element is at 1002. If you assume this is the 2 bytes, and every element will have the same size only. So this will be at 1004, 1006, and so on. Yeah. Yeah, Ankit. Yes, whole syllabus will be covered. That's what the C programming. Come on, yaar. You are getting the doubts then what we are doing here. We are teaching every concept in this there in C which is relevant to the GATE. Without storage classes, C programming you can't understand too. Because you are using variables. How do you understand the variables without storage classes? I don't understand what kind of questions you are facing right now. Okay. After arrays and pointers, I will come to this storage classes once we know about the functions. So you can understand storage classes easily. Okay. Now, the difference between arrays and the normal data, guys. If I want 3 elements of same type, then what you do basically, x, y, z, you may do x is equal 10, y is equal 20, z is equal 30. And x, y, z, whether they store consecutively or not, we don't know. But x will have a different memory, y will have a different memory, and z will have different memory. 10, 20, 30. So what is the problem here, guys? 3 different names. We really don't know whether they store contiguously or not. 3 different names. Are you clear? Even though they are same type, but we can avoid using array. You can just say int a of 3. And maybe you can use, the later on we will discuss about this clearly. It's a 1D, it's okay. A of 0 is 10. A of 1 is 20. See, I'm going to use one name for all of them. So I'm going to use 2 things here. Here A is the name. Here A is the array name. And we have 3 locations which we can use index. That 0 and 1 to call as index. We can use that index to refer. And basically this we use as a subscript. We are saying that A of 0. And what is this called as? Subscript. And 0 called as index. And what A is called as? Array name. Array name. Everybody, guys? Yeah. Why contiguously? Very good question, guys. Why the array elements are stored contiguously, guys? That when you learn the advantages, why they are stored, why elements are stored continuously. Anybody, guys? Anybody? Because the advantage of an array, come on guys, advantage, if you have let's say 3 elements, any element will take the same time. Randomly you can access an element. Randomly every element, any element can be accessed. Any element with the same time, any element can be accessed. How? Just say A of I mention either 0 or 1 or 2. Every element will take the same time to access. Every element can be accessed in same time. It's a very quick. Every element can be accessed using same name and same approach. That's why if we know address of the first element, you can calculate any element address. If you know address of the first element, remember that, you can calculate, then we can compute, and of course compiler system does that, we can compute any element address too. This is the advantage of contiguous. Yeah, everybody, guys, the most important thing is, if I know address is, this is 1000 and each one takes 2 bytes, let's say 2 bytes, 2 bytes, 2 bytes, then ask me A of 2, I can directly jump to A of 2 with the help of 1000. So how do we do that? I'm going to explain today. Everybody, yeah, syntax I will explain today. I'm going to talk about first theoretical points, then we will start how to access, what is the syntax to declare, right, how to access the elements of the array. Everything will come slowly. First, let me explain. Instead of having the primitive data, that is 3 different variables, I can use a one variable for all the 3 elements, that is A is the name of an array. One variable, guys, one variable name can be used to access all 3 elements, which is easy, guys. If there are 100 students in the class, are you going to use 100 variables? Are you going to use array with 100 elements? Which is the best data structure that you can suggest? Everybody, guys, what is the best data structure you can suggest? The interview questions, it will happen like this. Interview questions, guys. If we have 100 students, then question 1, do you recommend 100 different variables? Question 2, or do you recommend one variable to access all students? One variable to access all 100 students. Which is the best one? Are you clear, guys? Now we require just one name to access 100 students. Maybe, I will say S of 100. S of 0 might represent 1 student. Maybe name or marks, doesn't matter. Property of the student could be anything here. So S of 100 is enough. Here I can store 100 student details. Yeah, exactly. Array of size 100. Array of size 100 is recommended. This is recommended. Because remembering 100 different variables are complex. You have a much complex. Yeah. So this is a kind of interview question before knowing about array. And let me talk about again, guys. All elements are of same type. You cannot store integer is one element, other is float. All are same type. How to declare all of this, we will see slowly. Right now I'm not dealing with any kind of definition except how the array looks like, because you do not know the representation. Okay, today agenda, guys. Let me start with the today agenda. We are going to learn slowly, not quickly, guys. As you are asking the doubts, but I'm not going for complete details of array today. You know, first you should know what are the representations for an array, because C language, C++, Java follows a row major order, but MATLAB follows column major order. Then what is row major, what is column major? Without knowing this, then using array may be a question mark for you. Everybody? Yeah. And then we will start. This is actual topic of C, guys. This is actual topic, but I can't help you to understand this without knowing the internal details of the array. Everybody, guys? Then we will start examples to understand the array. Everyone, so let's begin today array representations. Before beginning array representations, guys, how many types of arrays are there in general? Types of arrays in general, even in C compiler, how many dimensions it supports? That implementation dependent. Like 1D array means one dimensional, you can call linear array, right? One dimensional. And then 2D array, two dimensional. Like 1D array may appear like this. 2D array may appear rows and columns, like M cross N, like matrix. And you may have any number of dimensions, but 3D array, it's different. You may have many tables. We will see slowly, guys. This is a one 2D and this is another 2D. This is a 3D. And similarly, you can have any number of dimensions. This is a 3D, this is a 2D, this is a 1D. So when I declare, you will understand how to represent 1D. Yeah. Arrays, each array, types of arrays. Singular, plural, do you have a doubt? You have arrays, three types, or not three types, any number of dimensions. Oh my God. Each array you can represent using 1D or 2D or 3D. 1D or 2D or 3D or any dimension. It depends on your requirement. Yeah, types of people, types of person. So what does that means? So I'm talking about types of arrays. Alright. Now I'm not talking about it all C, guys. I'm not talking about C now. I'm talking about anything. How 1D array can be represented. Then you will easily understand. Yeah. You can easily understand. Now look at A. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in C, how to declare, we will learn slowly, but if you want, I will explain now itself. In C, we follow row major order. So we declare like this, int, this we have 6 elements, so A of 6. And if you want a character type of elements, B of 6. You want float, then you can see float C of 6. It depends on what kind of elements you want. So if you are using C, I told you I am not worried about C, but I am just taking an example. Index always starts with 0, it ends with 5. In C, guys, in C, all of them will have the similar structure. Alright, if you look at other programming languages, they can start index with 1 or depends on the programming language. Yeah, Keshri, you can leave anytime if you know all these concepts. Most of the people, they are not able to understand the C arrays because first they don't know how to access, right? They don't know what is the representation in the memory. So what happens in main memory? This is the RAM. If I'm going to talk about this A, you will have byte by byte. Let's say, okay, this is RAM. If A begins here, you know this total index may be 0. You might require 2 bytes for this. So 2 locations you might use for that. Similarly 2 bytes. So every 2 bytes, one index will be taken. Like this, up to 5. Okay, I'm not mentioning remaining. So 2 locations for each element because of, I'm assuming byte addressable. So 2 bytes are allocated for each element. I'm assuming that each element, each integer, assume takes 2 bytes. Then in row major order, what happens? This is the completely one row. So it is going to store a complete row in a sequence. But when it is a 1D array, row major, column major are same for 1D. There will be no difference in row major and column major for 1D. Now let's look at the column major order to understand. Suppose it's not C, just let me take A of 6. Okay, I'm just assuming integer. It's not C, it's just some other programming. I'm following column major order. Assume each element takes 2 bytes. Each element takes 2 bytes. Then what happens here? In RAM, how the elements are stored column wise. But first look at your array. The structure is same again. Index is your choice. I can start with 1 if I want it. That's okay. Now, if I am starting from here, assume this is 2 bytes. Index 1, index 2. No need to start every programming language with 0. C starts with 0. That doesn't mean that every programming language will start with 0. No need to be. Now, what is this, guys? First, a column will be stored. First, previously, this is the row. But column means this one. This is the column. So this is a column 0, or you can say first column, and this is the second column, third column. See, it's going to store in the same order because of 1D. It is not going to affect the way you store for 1D. Whether it is row major or column major, the result is going to be similar. Yeah. So look at this, guys. In row major, you will have same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even column major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You will have the same. So this is the column major order, and I'm just trying to mention row major order here itself. Okay. If you are following a row major order, so what happens here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even I follow row major order. For row major, if I am saying integer A of 6 and this is following row major order, and assume index is from 1. It's not a C language, it's somebody else. Okay, so there is no difference between row major and column major order. As I said, and what is the advantage that I'm going to explain here? So let me talk about row major order. Anyhow, it's both are same, guys. So I can write a row major order or column major order for 1D array. Now let's look at A of, let me say, n. I'm using C language notation. In general, I'm using it. 0 is index, last index is n minus 1. But n has to be, guys, in C language, n has to be constant. It should not be a variable. N has to be constant. C array I will discuss slowly. Yeah. So do not worry about C array now. Everybody? Yeah. And guys, we are requesting one thing, that is, please dislike only when you don't understand. Right? Just coming for time pass and doing dislike, it's your choice. But we are giving our effort to make you learn something, and which is really important for you. Right? we are not doing the time pass on these classes. We are trying to make you to understand the concepts in the right direction. So we request, please like the session if you are enjoying, and let the people dislike if they want to. But you know, the whole world has two things, bad and good. So we should look at always good to do something better in the world. So I hope you people are enjoying and coming to regularly my sessions and our sessions here on this channel. So please continue that. That support is required for us to give the free education to the society. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Now, if I know the address of, as I told that, if we know the address of first element, really, is it possible to compute any address? That somebody asked, what is the advantage of storing continuously? That is advantage. Look at that. If you know address of first element, that is 0, first element, how to compute address of any element, address of, you ask me, any element in array A. Everybody guys, now I am assuming that I have given 1000. One more thing is given, that is size of each element. I am assuming size of each element, that is size of integer, I am assuming it is 2 bytes. Okay, some systems it also takes 4 bytes, I am assuming. Then I am asking somewhere else, I really don't know, this is I. This is I. I want to find out the address. I want to find address of this one. So that's, you can represent like address of A of I is equal to what? But what is given here guys? What we know? Given that address of A of 0. That's how we can access the element. Each element you can access like A of I. A of I is going to help us to access element. But when you say address of A of I, it is to access address of element. Right? So both are different. A of I is to refer element, address of A of I to refer the address of that element. Okay. So now how to answer this question? Carefully listen guys. And how many elements are there from here to here? How many elements are there? 0 to I minus 1 elements are there. What does that means? 0 to I minus 1 means I elements only. Number of elements are I. So I elements are there. To reach A of I, you need to do I times increment guys. First 1, 2, 3 and so on. You need to do I times increment to reach I. Yeah. So now you know the address of A of 0, and also you know is given 1000 here, and size of int is given, element is 2 bytes. So take 1000 plus I have I elements before A of I into the size of each element. If this is 2 bytes, we are going to increment that many 2 bytes, I times 2 bytes. So what is going to happen guys? 1000 plus I into 2, right? It's equal to 1000 plus 2i. If I is, let's say, 10, then 10 into 2 is 20. 1000 plus 20, it become 1020. So this is going to be address of A of I. So in general, how do you write a formula guys? In general, in 1D, whether it is RMO or row major order or column major order, both. How do you find out address of A of I? I is any element. So you have to know address of first element plus I into size of each element. This is in general in C guys, in C language. But the index no need to start from 0 guys. Index no need to start from 0, right? If you are following row major order, if index starts from 0, if index starts from 0, this is the answer. But index no need to start from 0. So let's take other case. Let's take other case, how to understand in general. Look at this. This is in general completely. I don't know what is the index starts, but it could be L or it could be anything. So I'm assuming that guys it is L and upper bound is U, and I want to access somewhere. Let's say I. Everyone, let's say array name is A only. A is array name. Now this is just like you can say that L is lower bound and U is upper bound. So this is your declaration. Here really you don't know how many elements, but directly you don't know, but you can calculate. Anybody ask how many elements are there? Remember that L should be less than or equal to U. How many elements are there here? How can you compute guys? How many elements in array A? U minus L plus 1. This many elements are there. How did you calculate? Just assume if this is 0, or this is let's say 6. Tell me 0 to 6 means 7 elements. How did you get that? 6 minus 0 plus 1. 6 minus 0 plus 1. Okay, just look at one example to understand this. Yeah. Everyone? Yeah. Now somebody want to calculate what is given. Assume that given first element address of A of L is given. Let's say 1000. I'm assuming again this is given. Assume that size of each element given, let's say size of each element, let's say 2, 1, 4, you can assume anything, just in general. Suppose I want to calculate now address of A of I. Guys, before I, definitely there is I minus 1 here, right? Before that I minus 1. So here to L2 I minus 1, how many elements are there? Because that many increments you have to do. How to find how many elements here guys? I minus 1 minus L plus 1. This many elements are there. I can say that I minus 1 plus 1 cancel, I minus L. So from here to here, before I minus L elements are there. I minus L elements. Right? So if you increment I minus L times, you can reach I. So how do you calculate now? Address of the first element A of L. Right? Clearly L and I. Plus total I minus L elements into size of each element. This is in general formula guys. You can use this in general for any 1D which will work. Any 1D. Whether index starts from 0 or 1 doesn't matter. You can use this calculation. Yeah. Upper bound minus lower bound plus 1 exactly. So here what do you get? 1000 plus I minus L into 2. This is going to be your answer. If I am going to access A of 100, you can use similar to that. Yeah, but without knowing this, you are going to practice previous year gate questions. Doesn't matter how many times you practice, you are going to misunderstand the concept because you are not worried about the concept, but you are worried about the answer for some question. So that's what, whenever somebody asks, sir, is it important to solve the gate questions? Yes, it is important. But after understanding the concept, do it so that you can do 1 or 2 times is enough to practice. Yeah. Come on, good. Yeah. And please, I'm requesting everyone please to like this session. If you are joined this session but you didn't like it, please do that quickly so that we will move to C1D before starting with the 2D. Actually, how C language 1D array we will deal basically. In C language, how 1D we represent int a of, let's say, 5. This is the declaration, but this is where A has 5 elements stored contiguously. Index always begins from 0. No need to assume L and U now. It is fixed. But how many elements are there? 5 elements. Index is going to have 0 to 4. That means 5 elements. You can assume 0 is L, 4 is U, U minus L plus 1. Again 5 only. Right? And how this is different from normal elements, guys? I'm telling you again. Int X, Y, Z, P, Q. If you are using that, look at carefully what's going to happen. X different, Y different, Z different, P is different, Q is different. How they are going to be matching here? Here also 5 elements, there also 5 elements, guys. But here to access the element, if you want to access the element, in array, you will use A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, any A of I. That depends. But here to access element for this, just you use X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z, P, Q. So here X, it's just like one box, guys. This is like X, but this name is A of 0. This is like a Y. It's just like A of 1. It's just like a Z, just A of 2 and A of 3. We have 5 different boxes here, but they are contiguously allocated. Yeah. Everybody? Khushbu, if you want to repeat, just rewind the video. You will understand. If not, I will be there. It's not over yet. It just begin. We are going to do so many problems to practice. Okay? Yeah. What I'm trying to say in C language, how to access an element in array. A of I refers to access element at index I. So A of 0, A of 1, right? So this phi has to be constant all the time. This phi has to be constant, and this A has to be name. This is a declaration of an array. Everybody, the int specifies type of each element in array, type of each element in array A, right? Yeah. When somebody asks, please repeat. Tell me what should I repeat. So many things are going here, right? You should point out what should I repeat. Okay, don't say just repeat. Say exactly what you want. So in C language, how we are going to access this one? Int A of 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 or 50. This is called as a declaration, and also we have a definition initialization too, right? This int A of 5 is a declaration, and we are initializing the values. Previously we didn't do that. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Automatically the values are assigned as per the index order. Now this is initialization as part of the declaration. But you know, there are two kinds of variables: local variable and global variable. And right now I'm not going to talk about that, because in storage classes we will have a clarity on this too, local and global variable. So but I will just give one example, local variable. Local variable, just I'll give one small example. Suppose I have a main function, somebody saying int a of 5, then by default a is going to have a garbage values. What are the values you will have, guys? Here unknown value will be there, garbage, unknown value. Here garbage value is stored, garbage, unknown value is there, it will print something. This all are garbage data, because you have not initialized, but if you initialize, it will automatically initializes the given data. Okay, let me talk about the initialization. So many things are there, guys. If it is global, int a of 5 above the main, if you do that, what happens to this a? All automatically assigns to 0, right? All elements by default 0. Why this is 0? We can discuss in storage classes. Yeah. Now we have two things, so many types of declaration, guys. I'm going to talk about local variables only first, within some function or within the block. Local variable, when I'm doing that, int a of 5, what happens? Int b of 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, what happens? Int c of 5, but I'm giving only 2 values, what happens? Int d of is equal to and 10, 20, what happens? Look at, guys, these are the various kinds of declarations we have. You can initialize the values as part of the declaration. Here, what will have? You will have garbage values by default, because local variable. Garbage values by default. Everyone, so A will have 5 elements. Everywhere you have a garbage, all filled with garbage, unknown values. Yeah. Second one, the B, all the elements you have initialized, so it will initialize as per your order 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But how do you know that size of the index, size of the array? Because you mentioned 5 here. Next one, C, you mentioned 5 you mentioned, but you are only giving 2 values, so it starts from index 0. Remember, guys, 10, 20 remaining, not garbage. When you assign one value, one element, others are automatically 0. This automatically 0. That is the nature of an array. Even though you have given 10, 20, this is stored at index 0, stored at 0, and this is stored at 1. But you already mentioned the size is 5. You mentioned size is 5. So the 5 elements memory is created, then 2 elements are assigned, remaining are automatically assigned with 0. Automatically assigned with 0. And next one, int d. Yeah, d. Now this time you have not mentioned size. Size is not mentioned, but calculated by compiler automatically. But calculated how? By compiler automatically. How? By looking at your initialization. How is that, guys? So 10 stores and 20 stores, and there is no additional memory created. Only it's going to create the space for 2 elements. So indirectly this is equal to, guys, d of 2 is equal to int d of 2 is equal to 10 comma 20. Exactly this is same. Yeah. But you wanted to see an error? You wanted to see an error? Int e of, this is an error, guys. This is an error. Why error? Even it is a compiler error because you missed index. The compiler not able to understand the size. Size of an array is missing here. Size is unknown. So this is what a C language does. C language supports only static array. What do you mean by static array, guys? The size has to be mentioned before execution. Size is fixed during that's before execution only. You can't change it. But in Java, it supports. Note, in Java both supported. Dynamic array also supported, but not in C. In Java, dynamic array also supported. So we are not dealing with Java here, and in C language it supports only static array. So that is the reason you need to mention the size at any cost, either by initializing the values or as part of the declaration. Everyone, guys? Yeah, this is the most important part, that if anybody asks what is advantage of C language array, what is advantage? That accessing an element is very quick. Accessing an element very quick. It's just a constant time, you can say. Accessing an element is very quick. You can say constant time. How? It's going to use like this. A of I is nothing but, how this is going to be calculated, guys? Star of A plus I. The A is actually address of the first element. Address of a first element in an array. In 1D array. 2D we have a different name. And I is index. And the star is going to use for dereference. So anybody talking about, this accessing an element, guys? Let's look at that. How this is going to be done. Suppose you want to access the fifth one. And let's say index starts from 0, and this is let's say 1000, and size of each element, let's say 2 bytes. Then how this is going to be calculated, guys? A of 5 you want to access, then it's going to calculate star of A plus 5. Then what it does, star of A means 1000 plus 5. Then it's not 1005, guys, it's a 1000 plus 5 into size of each element. Size of each element. So which is going to be equal to star of 1000 plus 5 into 2. So which is equal to star of 1000 plus 10, which is equal to star of 1010. So this is going to give you 1010 address. Because each element is going to take 2 bytes. Yeah, which is very interesting calculation for us. And most of the people, they do the mistake, guys. 1000 plus 5 is not 1005. This is the address, right? It's going to be like 1000 plus 5 into size of element. Remember that? In array, this is going to be our notation, guys. Whenever somebody is saying that A plus I, you need to calculate something like A plus I into size of element. If suppose I am using, let's say, char A of 5 or A of 50, let's say, then I want to access, let's say, A of 10. Then what is going to calculate? Star of A plus 10, which is equal to star of A plus 10 into size of character. But we know size of character is 1 byte. So it's going to access star of A plus 10 into 1. which is equal to star of a plus 10. That a will have some address, so that maybe 1000 you can assume, which can be, you can say star of 1010. Star basically value at or data at 1010. It's a dereference operator. Yeah, exactly. This is the reason index starts from 0, so that you can calculate any, because already implemented, you can't change, right? The compiler was already implemented. Now you can't change that index begin from 1 or something like that. So all the compilers that already built before writing any programming language, because programming language is understood by the compiler. So whatever you write, compiler must follow its rules to implement. Yeah, right. Is it clear, guys? This is about a C language. This is about C language. But as I told, you require to understand so many things to deal with other 2D array. And in C is different, in general data structure is different. Everybody? Yeah. So most of the people, they have a problem with 2D array, not 1D array. Because 1D array is very easy to understand. Okay, in C is different. If it is not a C program, it is more different. So I'll talk about first C, guys. In C, we declare like this: int a of something like 5 3. What is the meaning of this declaration? 5 represent number of rows. 3 represent, most of the people say columns, that's correct, but number of elements in each row. That is exact name you can understand. It's no doubt it's a number of columns only, but that's a better name. 5 rows and 3 columns. If you look at your array, I need 5 rows and then 3 columns. It is a row major order, guys. It's a row major order. So if I give the name of array is A, and definitely this element, the first element is, you can see that index, how that is going to be. The column index is 0, 1, 2. So previously, there is a lot to discuss, guys. I have not discussed much about 1D2. Once this representation is over, I need to discuss only some of the notations, how do you access the elements. So do not worry much about it. There is a lot to come about 1D, 2D and 3D. Yeah. So let's focus on how that representation comes out. This element is called as A of 0, 0. That is a box name. This box name is A of 0, 0. And this one, is it 0, 1 or 1, 0? 0 is the row and 1 is the column, that you can say element. And similarly A of 0, 2. And if you keep on doing that, this comes as, that's row 4 and column 2. The last row and last column element. So if I want to access this one, 2 is the row number and 1 is the column number. Everybody, guys? So whenever anybody accessing A of ij, so I represent the row I, and j represent the column j. You can also say element j in that row. Column j, you can also say that element j in that row I. Yeah. Now how the elements are stored here? How the elements are stored here, guys? As I told that I need row major order. I need a row major order. So how these elements are stored? Let's look at. So we have a main memory. RAM. So in RAM, how this is going to be stored? This is our main memory. Assume it is a RAM. So let's say A begins from here. So first, which element will be stored? That is A of 0, 0. Next, A of 0, 1. And what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this, guys? This is row 0, row 0. And next, it is going to be row 1. So it's going to be row 1, 3 elements, row 1, 3 elements. And you keep on doing that. The last row, you will have 3 elements. So here you will have A of 1, 0 and A of 1, 1. And first index will have the fixed because the row 1, second row indirectly. And this is the last row, let's say. This is the row 4. So this is called as row major order. First row 0 is completely stored. Row 0 completely stored. And then second row and third row, fourth row and fifth row. Guys, this is how it is stored. Row 0 first stored all the elements. So when you look at the values, yeah. When you look at the values, all the elements are stored in contiguous again, but they are stored in row major order. They are stored in row major order. If it is column major order, definitely it could have been different. Right? If you want to see the column major order, now look at, guys, if you want column major order, here only we will see it. If you want it, yeah, see embo. How do you store? This is a row major order, guys. Or embo order. Now how the column major order, guys? It's not a C, it's some other programming language. It's not C, guys, it's something else. In C we will only follow row major order. In C language we will only follow row major order in C. So this is not C language, remember that. So if you assume this is A, first I am going to store the column. How many columns we have? 3 columns. Each column we have 5 elements. So this is the column 1. This is like A of 0, 0. Next one is, be careful, A of 1, 0. Column 0, guys. Next one A of 2, 0. Same column, but the elements we are taking row wise. We are taking row wise. So this is completely called as column 0. And similarly, we will have 5 elements, column 1, and 5 elements for column 2. So this is the column major order. Basically MATLAB follows that notation. MATLAB follows that. MATLAB. But row major order followed in C, C++, Java, right? Like C language. Come on, guys, look at the notation between row major order and column major order. If you do not know about this, while accessing the address, you will face much difficult because you don't know which order is going to be stored. You can see that, guys. If I ask, let's say each element is 2 bytes. So then I'm just writing the addresses, guys. It's this is a 1000 and 1002. This is a 1004. Right, let me write this is a 1006, 1008, 1010 addresses. This is a 1000, 1002, 1004, 1006. I'm assuming 2 bytes for each element. Now look at, if I ask address of A of 0, which one is here? 10. That is visible here, guys. That is visible. If I ask address of A of 10, here A of 10 is 1006 here. 1006 in row major order, But when I come to column major order, address of A of 10, you can see that that's a 1002. That's 1002. Look at that. Addresses are going to be different in column major order. Matrix is still same. That is a theoretical representation, right? That's not the practical implementation, guys. right? It's table only. But are you going to store in row wise or column wise? That you decide. That's a practical implementation. The same table, the way you store in the system is different. Everybody, guys? Yeah. The matrix everywhere same. 2D is 2D only. But how do you understand is different from the 2D. Like, everybody, guys? Yeah. So this is about 2D array. Now we may have a problem how to calculate the address of element in row major order and column major order. So I'm going to help you. It may looks complex, but I will help you to understand. I will help you for C language. Remaining you may understand in data structure. So I'm just teaching C language. So I will mostly help for C language, guys. I will help for C language. Just look at general representation, what I am doing, which will help you sorry, to understand. Okay, if you assume A is an array, the index must begin from, okay, I'm going to access this I. Guys, assume this is a M minus 1. And assume this side 0, 1. Let's say I'm accessing J. So the last column, let's say K minus 1, something like K minus 1. What is the declaration, guys? Declaration is like this, you know, int or character, doesn't matter. A of M and K is my declaration. This M is the constant, any constant. K is any constant. Remember that too. Now this is like IJ. This is like you want to access. I want to find address of A of IJ. Using C language like notation, like C language notation. Find the address of A of Ij. But what is given to calculate? I'm assuming something is given. Given address of first element, like address of A of 0, 0 is given as, let's say, 1000. And each element size is given, let's say, 2 bytes. Okay, that K minus 1 is not visible. It's okay. Guys, that K minus 1 is not visible. Okay, I can delete that too to make it visible. Yeah. I think it's now visible. Yeah, it's visible. Sorry. Now somebody want to access this location address. Right, you know, we will store row major order. Row major order. This is a row 0, and next a row 1, and this is a row I minus 1. Guys, this is I minus 1. Row I minus 1, and this is a row I. You know, this is the column 0. Similarly, this is column 1, COL1, and this is J minus 1. Remember that is a column, sorry, not visible again. So remember that. Now how do you access this? Anybody guess, guys? First we are going to compute how many rows before. So compute the number of rows before the row I, because we are going to store all these elements before this A of Ij, no doubt. So somehow in RAM, okay, I don't want to write that RAM now. In RAM, there are 0 to I minus 1 rows. How many elements are there? Each row we have k elements. So total I rows, and each row has k elements, because 0 to k minus 1. So total elements, how many? I into k elements are there before the present row. Before row I, there are 0 to I minus 1 rows. Look at that. How did I calculate that? So here we will have I into k elements, guys. I into k elements I have calculated from 0 to I minus 1 rows. Why I am doing that? Because I am going to calculate how many elements before the present element that I am computing. This is A of ij. Right? Now in second point, in row I, before A of ij, how many elements are there? 0 to j minus 1 elements. No need to say columns. Elements before A of ij. Why? Because I can increment that many elements. When you look at the total elements, how many, guys? For this one, j elements. You can say j elements, guys. So second one calculates j elements. The first one calculates I into k elements. Ik. Total elements, when you see total number of elements in this table in row major order, total elements before A of ij is going to be, anybody guess? Ik plus j elements. Ik plus j elements. Yeah. So now I want to calculate that. So I assume that the first element is at 1000. Address of A of 00 is given as 1000. Each element is 2 bytes. Now how do you calculate, guys? Address of A of ij is equal to address of the first element plus total how many elements are there? We have calculated these two. And now we need to understand how many elements from here to here. Sorry. How many elements from here to here? How many elements, guys? Here we have seen j elements. So I into k plus j. So ik plus j elements into size of each element, that is 2 bytes. Yeah, size of each element. And you want to calculate that A of ij now? You can do that yourself. So this is going to be a formula for a C language, but using this notation. Rohit, did you come late? This is a row major order only, right? When I explain column major order, ask what is the difference. आप तो 2D का column major order compute ही नहीं किया, right? बीच में आके doubt ऐसे कैसे पूछ सकते, right? Yeah, just wait for a few seconds, few minutes, you will understand column major order too. Everybody clear, guys? Now let's solve the one question to understand this problem. Let's look at A of 100. Let me take different dimensions. Somebody declared in C int A of 50, 70, and somebody want to calculate address of A of 00 is given is, let's say, 1000, and size of integer is, let's say, 2 bytes. Now somebody is asking address of A of 20 and 30. I can ask anything, right? So how do you calculate, guys? Address of A of 00 plus before 2030. Guys, you need to imagine. Don't do everything, guys. You need to imagine. Assume this is A of 2030. Then imagine here and here, how many are there? Here you will have 0 to 19 rows. So you need to find out first how many rows are there here. 20 rows. Total 20 rows before this row. because the row major order, right? Row by row it will store. So total 20 rows will be stored before this row. Total 20 rows are there. So how many elements? 20 rows into each row 70 elements. 70 elements that you can find in declaration in each row. Remember that. So 20 into 70 elements are there. So 1400 elements are there. And at this position, in the present row, 0 to 29 elements are there, means 30 elements are there before the present element in the same row. So total, when you are calculating 20 into 70, that is a 1400 plus 30 into size of element is 2. This is the size of element, right? So now you can calculate as this is the 1000 plus and 1400 plus 30 into 2, right? 1430 into 2, which is equal to plus 1000, so which is equal to 3860. Yeah, good point, Rohit. So look at how easily you can calculate if you remember the concept. कितने गेट क्वेश्चंस भी करो, अगर कॉन्सेप्ट आपके दिमाग में नहीं है कुछ फायदा नहीं होगा. But this concept will help you in row major order. Now same concept will go for column major order very quickly so that you can understand how to calculate, right? Are you ready for column major order, guys? Okay, so I'll just write a formula again. In row major order, index assume begins from 0. Index begins from 0. If not, please go for data structure to understand, right? So I'm just writing a formula again. Int a of m, let's say k, where this k, m and k are constants. It is a declaration, not accessing, right? Constant. Now somebody want to access address of a of ij. Somebody want to compute. What do you do? Address of a of 0 0, because that's the first element, plus m rows are there before the row m, 0 to m minus 1, into each row has k elements. Sorry, not m, that's what the problem. I, we are accessing row I, so I rows into k. So this many elements before the row ik plus and then j into size of each element. So this is in general formula for C language like array. Yeah, in C language this nobody can change, but other languages, if index begins from a minus 50 or 1, then the formula is going to change. Now let me help you the column major order. Guys, I'll just give a very quick idea to understand, but you will learn in data structure. This is not C language, guys. You will also learn in data structure, remember too. But I'm helping you because I'm discussed so many things. You will also learn in data structure. So many types of arrays you will learn there. Yeah. So let me help you very quickly to understand this. Now I'm assuming again the index begins from 0. You can do anything. 0, let's say I'm accessing I. Let's say this is m minus 1, and 0, this is j, and this is, let's say, k minus 1. So declaration is same. A of mk is declaration, mk declaration, and you want to access address of a of ij. You want to find out. Now guys, this time is different. It is a column major order. It's a column major order. So column wise it's going to store. It's going to store column wise, you know that. So first we will store all these columns. That means this many columns we are going to store first. It's not row wise, right? 0 to j minus 1 columns will be stored first. Then This elements we will store, that is 0 to I minus 1 elements will be stored here. 0 to I minus 1 elements. Columns, elements, two things. Now how do you compute the columns, guys? First computation, columns. How many elements total here? Total how many elements? Each column m elements are there. So m into j elements are there here. In this 0 to j minus 1 columns, j columns total j columns here. 0 to j, total j columns. Each column has 0 to m minus 1 elements. So m elements. I'm writing here. Each column has m elements. No doubt about it, because m rows. So total you will have m into j elements before column j, because column wise we are computing. Now in column j, in just column j, how many elements are there? In column j you will have 0 to I minus 1, that is I elements before ij, before a of ij. So you will get I elements here, you will get here m into j. So how do you compute? Address of a of 0 0 plus, that is mj plus I into the size of each element. Yeah, this is how we calculate, guys. How did I calculate here? First I have calculated all the columns before the present column. Then in this column how many elements are there? This one has I elements and this one has mj elements. So just I found mj plus I elements total mj plus I, and each element has some 2 bytes you can assume. So multiply by 2, you will get the answer. Yeah. So I hope you understood how to compute, but you will definitely learn more in data structure too, guys. So I'm just explaining, it is not the part of the C language. Still I have considered to understand how this array stored in row major and column major. Everybody, so anybody not understood, just go back, look at this. This is the row major and column major order difference, right? Everyone, guys, if you want to find in row major order, you want to find the address of this. Now look at all the rows before and look at this elements before. So the total elements before this element you will get in the table. And if you want to find column major order, that's slightly different. You need to do something column wise. Find this column elements, and then in this column how many elements before this. Yeah. So very quickly you can calculate. If you can understand this concept, you will never confuse again, but you need to practice. That we will do on Saturday or Sunday, that how to compute the address of an element in the array. Okay, before that, please practice, guys. Okay, so in 3D also I am going to explain, but tomorrow I will come up with a concept, guys. So 3D I am not going to explain today, and okay, today I have just explained what is 1D array and what is 2D array, how we are going to use a row major order and column major order. In 1D array, row major, column major, no difference, but in 2D array, the column major, row major have a difference, right? And tomorrow I will help you to understand the C language array, C array, right? Again, how to declare, how to access using program, and how to represent. So many representations are there inside. Again, how to represent notations. So many things we have to understand. So this is about tomorrow class, guys. We'll meet again tomorrow. That's exactly the C array topic. So far, whether you understand or not, you have to learn in data structure. Remember that. But tomorrow we will begin actual array in C, right, from the beginning again. But it's a different way. Thank you so much, guys, today. And this is my profile. Please visit if you wanted to access my classes. And you know that prices are going to increase, so use DEVALIVE code if you want to take the subscription today. That is, a DEVALIVE is my referral code, and these are my regular classes for this week. Please, you can attend on Unacademy too. For that, you visit unacademy.com/@DEVAGATE profile. And if you are enjoying my sessions and other educators too, please like the sessions that you attend. That's very important for us. And please like and share. And also comment if possible and subscribe. Okay. So we are running the short-term batch for you guys, and please attend the sessions, and we will take more interesting sessions only when you attend. And you know that we have so many batches are going on: gate batch, semester, and short-term batch, and placement batch. We are not sure whether we will continue or not because of the response. And thank you so much. Please like the session before leaving, and thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.